Everybody in this world has a past, okay? And I'm sure everybody in this world has things in their past that they're not proud of. And I would say that there's a good, higher than half of the people in the world are struggling with things because of their past. So I have a foolproof way to get over your past, to let your past go completely. I know the key to doing that and how to do that easily, and so that you can move on from it and that you can focus on your life now and have a bright, amazing, wonderful future without your past. I know the key to doing that. Okay. So it's taken me a long time to get here. It's been an entire process. I'm 46 years old. I have 787 days clean today. And it's only now that I truly, truly realize, how to let that all go and how to be okay with that. And for me, my past was tough. I went from raising my daughters, having my daughters mean everything in the world to me, to not having them in my life at all. I had my daughter every day until she was 12 years old. And then from that point on until now, I maybe seen her 50 times, if that. Okay. I missed all of her important events in her life because of me going to jail. And my youngest daughter, I signed over rights to her when she was 10 years old, maybe. I last time I saw her, she was 7. Maybe she was about 10, 11 years old. I actually signed over rights to her with the thoughts that I'm never going to have anything to offer this child again. And that's a terrible, terrible feeling to feel that way and to say that to yourself and to actually believe that. There's not a worse feeling in the world than that, at least not for me. But that all being said, I know how I can just be okay with all of that. I know how all of that can all just be okay. And now I can just focus on myself now, focus on my future, focus on what my life is going to become, because my life has become wonderful now. Like I said, 787 days clean. Super proud of that. Have my daughter back in my life. Super proud of that. I'm getting married in July. Super proud of that. I'm trying to buy this house that I live in, this beautiful house. Super proud of that. I'm a big member at my church now. Super proud of that. I truly have not missed a day of work in almost 2 years now. Super proud of that. Just the person that I'm becoming, I'm super proud of. But I still have all that past. I still have all those things, those letdowns, things that happened, in my past. But again, I have the foolproof way just to let that all go and let that all be. And I'm going to share it with you now. Okay. So the way that you can do that, the way that anyone in this world can just be okay with their past, can just let it go, let it fall behind, is to realize and recognize, that we were all placed on this world. We were all created for a reason, that it is a higher being, our creator, God, who created us, and he created us all for a purpose, right? And the biggest thing about God is that he has a book, and in this book, he has every day of our life written, and he's not writing it as it's happening. He wrote it before it happened, right? So that means that everything that I've done in my past, everything that I've done, signing over rights to my daughter, not making my daughter's graduation, not being there for my daughter's prom, all these things that I missed, not being there to send my daughter to college, not being there to teach my daughter to drive, all these things that I missed, I was supposed to miss them. It was already written. It was written that I was going to miss them because God knew that I was going to become an addict, and that was going to become the idol of my life. I was going to worship drugs. I was going to worship being high. That's where my life was going to go for the time period that I went. But it was all to bring me to where I'm at now. So God knew that this was all going to happen. So everything that happened had to happen. There was no way it wasn't going to happen. It was destined to happen. That was all that it was. We have free will. Everything you do is free will, but everything is already written. So everything that has happened is already written. So if you're watching this video right now, again, that's already written. You're supposed to be watching this video. You're supposed to be having these thoughts. You're supposed to be right where you're at, right at this exact moment, ready to change your life, ready to make your life better, ready to focus on your future, ready to give your life to God, ready to do everything you have to do in order to have the best life possible from this moment on, right? follow? You with me? So everything that has happened in your life to this point, no matter what it is, whatever trauma, whatever bad thing that you've done, whatever bad thing that was done to you, that was supposed to happen. There was no way that couldn't have happened. That was meant to happen. It had to happen. It had to lead you to where you are at right now. Okay. I hope that you're following me, because where I'm at right now is, like I just stated, all the things I have going on, 789 days clean. I know that this is the person I want to be. I know that I give my life to God. I know that I dedicate my life to my church. I know I dedicate my life to my work, to my fiance, to my daughters, to everybody now. This is the life I want to live. But I still had to experience my life as it happened in order to get where I'm at now, in order to be able to speak like I'm speaking now, in order to be able to sit here and make this video like I'm making now. It all had to happen just as it did. Nothing I could do about it. So there's no sense in me being bothered by it. There's no sense in me letting the past at all dictate any of my feelings, any of my emotions, any of my thoughts from this point on. Right? So just let it go. Let it go. It had to happen. Nothing you could do about it. Nothing you can change about it. Nothing could have been different about it. It had to happen exactly like it happened to lead you to right now, where you're watching this video, where you're hearing the words that I'm speaking, in order to be able to look at your life, let it all go, move on, focus on your life being great from this moment on. Focus on putting God first place in your life. So when you have God first place in your life, that everything can just become like it's supposed to be, like He created you to be. God created us all for a purpose. We all have a purpose in this entire world. It's up to you to figure out what your purpose is. There's a main general purpose, which is to be as much like Jesus every day as possible, but it's impossible ever to reach that level, because Jesus is the only one that is that great, that is that amazing. But I strive every day to try to reach that level now. I really, really do. And, I know I'm not even coming close by any stretch of the imagination, but it was interesting today, because we were talking, I had a small group today, and at my small group, we were talking about how we're talking about grace and life, and Jesus washing all of His disciples' feet, and how not one person offered to wash His feet afterwards, and how most people in the world aren't going to offer that back, because that's just the way that most people are. Most people are selfish. Most people are thinking of themselves. But all I could think at that moment while this person was saying this, his name is Pete. He's an awesome person, amazing, awesome, wonderful person. I'm so blessed to have him in my life. But I'm thinking the whole time is I 100% would have offered to wash his feet. Addict, no addict, whatever it was, that is the person I am. That is the person I've always been, and that is the person that I always will be. So I'm pretty proud of that. And so, like I said, everything that's happened before now had to happen. Everything before now, you have to let it go, because it does you no good to hold on to it. So, but as long as you really recognize and really, really understand the fact that God has a book, in that book, all of your days are written. So everything from this point on is written, and everything up until this point was already written before it happened. So as long as you understand that, you can just let it go, brush it off, say, oh, that happened exactly like it was supposed to, but I'm right where I'm at right now to hear this message, to hear that actually happened that way, in order to be able to let it go, so I can move on and I can focus my life on being happy, focus my life on being purposeful, focus my life on what it can be going forward in the future. So aside from that, I just wanted to share with you guys just these 3 messages that a good friend of mine, well, he was a good friend at points in time, but this is a very troubled person that's just troubled in his addiction. That his addiction comes first always, and it always has. But I've seen a couple times in his life where his heart really, really shows. And I just want to read this for you, and then I'll explain why. Okay. So the person's name is Thomas Atutis. I don't know if anybody knows him, but this person, he does a lot of bad things to a lot of people. But at the same time, I just want to explain to you how amazing that this person's heart is, and how most addicts, their hearts really are amazing. And they're just troubled. going through what they're going through. But this is what this person said to me. Hey, bud, glad to know that you're still doing the right thing, man. So much to say, but don't even know where to start. So maybe at a later time. When I'm asked, hey, what's Gio doing nowadays? My response is, he is busy being the poster boy for the word integrity, always doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Love you, brother. That was one message that he sent me recently. Next one is, there's no thing, and I thanked him for that. I just said, thank you so much, man. That's amazing, thing to say. It's like the greatest thing anyone's ever said to me. And he said, there's no thank you needed. Just keep it up and continue to make people eat their words. That is the best unsaid thank you that you could ever give to me. Wow, right? It's a heartfelt, touching, like makes my heart, touches my heart to read it. Well, hopefully on the future, bud. But I will stay away till I am better, brother. I wouldn't jeopardize what you have going for you, not for anything in this world. 3 messages from Thomas Atutis. So my point in reading those is, one, okay, the life that I lived, everything that's all behind me now, right? Now, I'm now someone that is still living that life is able to see that I am a man of integrity. And I really do try to live with integrity while I'm by myself. Every moment that I live my life now, I really, really do try to live it with integrity, with the thought that God is watching, with the thought that what I do in private, it needs to match what I do in public. What I do in private needs to match what I do in public. And I recognize that. And I try to live by that every day. And just the fact that, this person that's struggling with addiction, still battling with addiction, he's saying all these uplifting things to me, who's doing good, who I feel like, my life is coming together so nicely, like I spoke about getting married. Oh, I just did my 5-hour course yesterday. I'm going to be getting my license back. Just all these things that I'm working on. This person that's there, he's taking time to try to lift me up even further. Like, that's just amazing. And it shows you that addicts, even in their worst spot, it's not the person that they are. They're just sick and they just have the disease, and it's such a hard thing to overcome. But what I will say about all of that is that, I'm 46 years old now. I'm trying to work on buying a house. I'm trying to work on getting my license. I'm trying to get my credit back, all this, but I'm doing it such a late age in my life. I so wish I could have been doing it earlier, right? I really, really wish that. But again, everything that happened had to happen. The only way that I'm here working on all these things right now, making this video right now, able to speak to you with such conviction, with such know-how about God, with such just wanting to praise God with every ounce of my being. I want to thank God for all that he's done for me, and for bringing me through everything the way he has, and for bringing me to right now at this moment where I am at. Right. So, but everything had to happen exactly the way it did. I had to miss all those things with my daughters. I had to sign over rights to my youngest daughter. As much as I hate that I missed all that time with them, and it drives me crazy and it bothers me a lot, but I can't change that. Like, there's nothing that it had to happen. It just had to happen. That's the only way I am the person that I am now. And I recognize that, and I understand that, and I'm able to let that go because of the fact that God had that written in that book. So it had to happen. And it's the only way that I'm becoming who I am now. And I love the person that I'm becoming now. And you can love the person that you can become too, if you just let that past go. But also, again, with the addicts side there, I wish I could have done this sooner. I wish I had more time to be doing this, and I was younger doing this. And I would say that every addict out there, you have this hope that at some point in time you're going to change. Like, reading his messages there, he says, when I get better, he's saying it with the thoughts that at some point in time he's going to get better. I'm pretty sure he's 50 years old, this person that's saying this right there. So when is that time going to be? There's no better time than now. Like, there's no better time than now. It's going to be a process. Like I said, I'm 786 days clean, and these are all the things that I'm working on. For a lot of people, it's not going to necessarily be that fast. So you got to start that process as soon as possible, or else you're going to be 6 years old when you're just speaking like I'm speaking now, when you're able to be at the point that I'm at now. So there's no sense in wasting any more time with it, because you're going to want to get here. And all the time that you spend as an addict in the addiction, you think that you're having fun. You think that, oh, I feel great. I'm high. I feel great. it's not great at all. It's not great. Just recognize all those low times, all those terrible, awful, rotten, horrible times. The time spent in jail, the time without any drugs where you just feel terrible, just all these awful times, when you're just this person that's looked down on, where everyone looks down on you, like just all the different things that it is. Like, it's not good at all. And just to feel that feeling of being high, and to feel that excitement that you get when you go and you cop your drugs and you're going and getting them, like there is excitement there. I understand that, but it does nothing for you in the long run. Like, all those years spent doing drugs, all those years spent away from my kids, all those years spent running the streets, trying to be cool, trying to be all these things I was trying to be, it did nothing, except for it did make me into the person that I am now. So hopefully, for anyone who's watching this who is an addict, you can use that to make you into the person that you can become. But you have to stop, and it's not an easy road. So you want to do it sooner rather than later, because any time that you spend still doing it is just time wasted that you'll never get back. You'll never get it back, and you will never think about it. Like, you're never going to look back at any of these drug times that you were using drugs, and you're going to say, oh yeah, that was great, I'm so glad I was doing that. You're never going to say those words ever in your life. You're never going to have those thoughts. I promise you, that will never be a thought you're ever going to have. All you're going to say is, I wasted every day that I was doing drugs. That's all you will ever say. Anyone who's ever quit doing drugs, that's all they've ever said about the time that they used drugs, was that it was wasted time and that they wish that they could have it back. So that's what I got. I thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, anything you guys can do to support the channel. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Remember, as nice as it is to be important, it is way more important to be nice. I love you. God bless you.